And welcome back. This training video is going to go into three areas: closing an opportunity, which will be fairly quick, and then we'll move straight into looking at creating a Salesforce contract, along with sending a digital contract out for signing by the customer using the Echo Sign functionality. Let's get straight into it. You've got a signed contract in front of you. You've been out to see a client, and you've actually got a written signed contract sitting in front of you now. What do you need to do within the system to get that in for approval? Well, first of all, what you need to do is go into the opportunity screen, and obviously go into the opportunity that the contract that you've got signed is in relation to. Three things need to be done. You need to change the stage to deal successful, pending group on approval. Click OK. And you'll see here that it's come up in orange, means that it hasn't been saved to the database yet. Second thing you need to do is change the close date to today's date. And we'll click on the 12th for today's date. And last but not least, you need to take a quick look at the amount, which is the forecast amount that you think that will be made for this deal, and you can update that. So how do you forecast the amount? Essentially, you look at the number of tickets that you think will sell for this particular deal when it goes live on the Groupon site, times by the ticket sell price to give you a total projected or forecast revenue figure. So you can update that. Once you've updated those three fields, click on Save. And as you can see at the moment, the new contract button wasn't actually appearing on there. So sometimes you'll be looking at the screen going, where is that new contract button? If you've made an edit to any one of those particular fields, that new contract button will disappear until such time as you save all of the information. Once you've saved the information, the new contract button will come back. So we've changed those three fields. Next thing we do is click on New Contract, which takes us into the new screen for creating a Salesforce contract. And some of the fields that you see on this screen, you may not see on your screen, but we'll run through the ones that obviously need to be filled out. Now, you'll see in the top right hand corner there, we've got a contract type. Obviously, if it's a first contract with the customer, it'll just be a standard contract, and that should come up by default. Mobile phone decision maker, fairly straightforward. You need to add in, and where you see a red mark next to the field there, that is a required field. So you'll need to put in some information there to be able to save the contract at the end. Likewise with an email address, we need an email address of the decision maker. And moving down, full name of the decision maker. Fairly straightforward, but in some cases we've seen just the first name of the decision maker. You do need to get a full name for contractual purposes, so make sure that you get a first name and a last name to put into that field. Moving down, do not publish until. Now the do not publish till area, obviously is for when a customer might say to you that we do not want this deal to go live before the 30th of October. So that field can be used to highlight that. Moving down, contract term in respect to months. Let's just double check something down below. There we go. Validity of voucher in months, that's obviously the expiry time frame. So as opposed to the contract term in months, the validity of voucher is the expiry of the voucher. Now that should be between 3 and 6 months, which is the sweet spot. So in this case we just put a numerical value in there, and then down here we can go in and add in all the required fields: original price, Groupon price, commission percentage. Now this is Groupon's commission, so looking at 50% there, and then a description. Etc. Any further restrictions that fall outside of the restrictions here on the right hand side, you can put into the text-based field there. Likewise, if the contract is for Groupon Ireland, if you're part of our Groupon team over in Ireland, this box here should be checked by default, or will be checked by default when you save, but you can check that up the top there if you like. Moving down, obviously all of the details here can be filled in. By default, exclusivity is 24 months. Contract return method, you need to specify how you'll be sending this one in, whether it's a e-contract, attached doc in the contract screen, send by email, send by fax. And the additional fields here will be used by after sales in respect to checking that they've received the contract from you and updating the system accordingly. Moving down below, the additional fields that you'll have access to click on will be partner will send pictures and partner will send text. If partner requires a deal preview, you won't actually be able to check that one, but put some information in the top of the screen here in respect to where are we? In the comment for approval box, and also maybe in the exclusivity comment box there, putting text into those fields that specify that the partner requires a deal preview. That will then able to be checked by after sales once they receive the information. And last but not least, the other required field down the bottom of the screen here is have you advised the partner of exclusivity terms by the Groupon contract, and also VAT. So please check that box below and confirm that you've informed the decision makers that the payout they will receive is exclusive of VAT, and that they understand and agree to the exclusivity agreement as described in the T's and C's. Now, the other areas that you have here, new bank details. Now, you can obviously fill in those fields and should fill in those fields if no banking information exists here on the left hand side. So if you see banking information exist here on the left hand side, it means that that banking information has already been put into the account screen, maybe on a previous contract or a previous deal, and you just need to check that information. If that information in that screen there is correct, you don't need to fill in anything in the right hand side there. If there's no information there, then you need to fill in banking details into these fields here. If the information on the left hand side is incorrect, then you need to put the correct information into the banking fields on the right hand side here. Once you've completed and put all of the information in there, including any restrictions that might be appropriate, remembering also that you've got the days that the voucher is valid on, and by default all 7 days are checked. You then click Save. And that will bring you back to a summary confirmation screen of all of the information that you've filled in. and you can still edit and go into and change any of the information just by double clicking on one of those fields, because the information has not been submitted yet. So what is next? There's two things that you can go to now. If you have a signed contract in front of you, all you need to do is submit this contract for approval, and once you click on that, you'll get a confirmation screen that comes up. Just click on OK and you're done. Alternatively, if you haven't got a signed contract but you've got a verbal agreement with your business partner and you've told them that you're going to send out an EchoSign digital contract for them to sign, you can click on Send to EchoSign before you submit for approval, and that will bring up a pop-up box, and all of the information from the contract that you've just filled in within Salesforce will be gathered and created to put together an electronic contract. You need to choose a contact that you're going to send that to in the bottom left hand screen here in the drop down menu, and in this case I've set myself up as a contact in the account screen for this account. And once you've done that, all you need to do is just click on EchoSign, and that will send it out to me for approval. So we'll let that just churn through quickly, and then once that's done, we'll close down that screen. And we can move down now and if we scroll down, we can see here a summary of the details for this screen. Now this will actually be attached to a contract, and this is the contract here that you've created. If we actually, and obviously we can see here on the bottom of this screen, the actual attachment or the PDF, and if we go back out to the contract, and if we're in the contract screen, which is the contract that you've just created in Salesforce, if we scroll down, we can actually go down to the agreements section, and this agreement section is the EchoSign contract that has just been created. Now at the moment this is not sent, and it's in an agreement status mode. If we go back into that, and you'll see up the top here we've got a send for signature button. If we click on that, if you click on that, you'll see that the contract is now being sent out. Alright, so if we go back out and have a look at the contract, you can see here that as we scroll down and go to the agreement section, that should have a date, sent date sitting there, and you can obviously click through and take a closer look at the details for that contract that's been sent out, which will show you everything associated with the digital contract. Now I've got an error message that's come up here, but you won't have one that comes up on your screen when you do yours. But if you do get an error message that comes up on screen, contact one of your Salesforce administrators, and they'll help you take a look at it and resolve it fairly quickly. Let's just go back out to the contract, and we'll show you one last thing. Once the contract has been submitted for approval, you'll actually see the approval history show up here in the bottom of the screen. And if we submit that, once we've got the signed EchoSign agreement back from the contract, we can then show you down the bottom that it's now been submitted for approval and it's pending, and you can use the bottom approval history here to track the internal approval with city managers and also second level approval above that. Now once it has been approved, you will receive an automated email, and that email will tell you that it has passed second level approval, and that's all you need to do. From there on, you just need to pass on a copy of your contract to your city manager, and they'll return it to the Groupon head office. That's it for now. Thanks for going through that. If you have any questions regarding any usage of any of those areas, feel free to contact the Salesforce team, or you can also send them an email at salesforce@groupon.co.uk.